Hello, Scorpio. Elsie here to do your reading for the week ahead. How are you, Scorpio? I hope you are well, my beautiful psychic friends. I hope that you are having a good week thus far and are looking forward to your weekend. Thank you so much for coming here, for clicking here. I'm going to show you this card, but I haven't called it yet, so we're not going to take it. But it is the Ace of Pentacles. It's Prosperity Begins. Very interesting. Somebody is going to have something that changes their life in the week ahead, or is going to make an investment somewhere. An investment that you didn't expect that you would make is what I want to say. All right, so we'll call it Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Please tell us about Scorpio. Scorpio, if you're interested in a private read, please look into the description. There is a yellow dot where you will find my email address if you have questions about how to book. But you do have to book at Wizio. It's the only place you can book me. All right. And you must book me. I will never solicit you. All right, here we go. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Scorpio. Okay. Well, we've got Truth. Yeah. That's on the bottom of the deck. That fell off the bottom of the deck, actually. And we'll take these ones. But we have the Judgment card. Yeah. We're still in the shadow phase of retrograde, right? Ooh. Perhaps resurrecting something with the Empress. Let's see. Triumph. Victory. Success. Yeah. The the Chariot. All right. What's going on here? Okay. Love begins. My goodness. Some hard-hitting energy there. So love begins because you spoke up. Or someone spoke up to you. It's time to speak our minds. It's time to decide what we're going to do with it. What are we going to do with that? Tell me, Scorpio. What are we going to do with it? Are we going to move on? Are we going to talk about it? Are we just going to keep moving here from place to place? Or are we going to speak up, going to say something about our feelings finally? I know you don't like to do that. I know that you don't like to express that sort of thing on the surface. And I don't think that it's that you don't like to, it's that you're very selective with who you share this type of energy with, and rightfully so. But I feel like it begins with a conversation and it progresses to moving on. Now, moving away, what are you moving on to, right? Let's take a look at that, but we'll clarify just a little bit. Let's go to the tea leaf first, though. The throat. Maybe you're telling someone that you're moving on because you must begin love. You have an Ace of Cups for someone, I believe. I'm just going to take these because they were all poking out. We've got the bird flying. News is on the way. Okay. We have the door. Opportunities are waiting for you. Now, I moved this one out of the way because Charlie said not yet. There it is, April. And we've got changes in your life. Okay, so I'm going to say from this that there are some very big changes coming for you in the month of April, in terms of who you are giving your emotional love to, is what I want to say. So there is somebody who is going to approach you with an opportunity, or possibly you're the one who is approaching the other person with it. April could mean that possibly it is going to happen in April, or something to do with the number 4. Also, we could be talking about Aries or Taurus. It could be an Aries-Taurus cusp, or dealing with someone who is. Opportunities waiting for you in April, and it's going to change your life. It's going to change your life. That's some pretty heavy energy. And it all starts with either you speaking up or someone else. Oh, I want to ask that right now, but we won't. Gosh, aren't you glad you have the nosy friend? The nosy friend that reads tarot? I will nose around there in just a moment. All right. So let's use the tarot, get more energy with this, please. Love begins. It's time to move on. So whatever you're in, if you're in a thing right now, if you're dating someone, if you're maybe you're courting someone, taking them out, trying to get to know them, I feel like you move on from it. I feel like there's some sort of conversation that takes place, and then we realize that it's not what we want to do, and you move forward. And I feel like your next encounter or your next thing comes up in April, or maybe we're talking about a Taurus or an Aries. All right. Tell us more, please. You don't usually bring me this much drama, Scorpio. You don't usually. So we have the Page of Swords. We have the Knight of Wands in the reverse. We have the Five of Wands. Indecision about whether you want to move forward. I think the Knight of Wands is in the reverse because we're not moving. We're not taking action. We want to go at this slowly. We can't be impulsive. We got to think it over. We need all the details. We have to get some knowledge about the situation first. When I see swords, it's more dealing in facts and science and show me the money. It's kind of like there's no faith here. That's not what we're dealing in here. We're dealing in factual information. And the reason that nobody's moving yet, or the reason you're not moving yet, is because there is some indecision here. You haven't yet done a full investigation. It feels like you're in investigative mode. It's not hard to be these days, right? There's a decision made. We've got the Knight of Swords in the upright. We've got the Fool in reverse. And we've got the Ten of Wands. If you are resonating with an Aries, I would suggest you go see the Aries reading, because there is the Fool in reverse showed up for Aries as well. And it feels like that energy. Okay. So we do have, we should look at the bottom of the deck. Yes, we should. Oh, okay. Oh. So you've got the Judgment card and the Nine of Pentacles, along with the Two of Cups. Look at that. And the Knight of Pentacles. So I feel like there is some sort of, reconciliation here that's going to happen, or somebody is thinking about the second chance possibly. And it might be related to you either becoming single or you finding out that the person you have feelings for is actually single right now. It's been taking a long time. Maybe you haven't seen them in a long time, or maybe you just never stopped loving them, right? The Two of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. This is moving slow, long term. We're going to get to the finish line, but I feel like somebody has been feeling like they've been in love with you forever, or maybe that's you feeling that way. But I also feel like the Judgment card is here for a reason. You need to make some sort of decision about whether you are going to move forward or not. All right, let's keep that there. So we have two swords. The Knight of Swords is carrying one, and so is the Page. There's a decision that's being made here, and you are holding back right now. You're holding back because you know that when you go forward, it's one and done. I feel as though you want to be impulsive. You can't wait for April. You can't wait for the spring. It feels like if everything checks out is what I want to say with the Page of Swords. If everything checks out, then you do want conversation. You are going to decide to move quickly, move forward. And once April comes, I feel like you're heading toward that quickly. But you're right now holding back, not really taking action on it, not moving forward because you have some indecision. You know that this has been quite burdensome for you, carrying this energy and holding back and not really saying anything but watching this person. I feel it's become very burdensome for you, because I really feel like you have some heavy feelings for someone, and you're waiting for an opportunity of love. It says opportunities are waiting for you, which tells me if they're waiting for you, that maybe you need to go towards it in order to get it, right? There is some news that's on the way about someone that you have feelings for. You're going to find out that this person moved on, or maybe you did and they're going to find out. But it came down to finally the throat chakra is no longer blocked. You're now speaking your truth. And look, we started with swords, right? This is all about the communication, right? The Knight of Swords is the one that's going to get there first, but, you know, although quite intellectual and highly intelligent, just not very prepared. So I feel as though you do not want to put yourself in a situation to look like a fool, because you want to be prepared, which is why you are holding back right now, because you don't want to be the fool. It almost feels like you know that if all things check out, if when you do the digging, you find the things that are appealing about what you're making the decision about, it feels like you're just going to jump in anyway. But being in indecision is the burden I feel that you're dealing with right now. It's a lot of indecision, and it's you're carrying it around. Did I make a fool out of myself here? Am I making a fool out of myself by holding back, doing the research that I need, or maybe just watching this person and not really talking to them? I need to make some sort of a decision and move forward, decide what I'm doing. I really feel like the Knight of Swords is the message the Knight of Swords brings in changes your life, because look at that, charging right into April and change your life. That maybe you've decided to move on, but maybe they decided to move on. It feels like there is a communication that's coming. Yeah. Either coming to you or that you will be making communication, but there will be speaking nonetheless about our findings. We have the Mountain. There's lots of obstacles in the way. It's going to be an uphill climb here. That's what the communication is going to be about. We now have a third communication here, which is the Eight of Clubs, the Eight of Wands, right? The communication is going to be, you know, this has been an uphill climb, or if we decide to take, you know, this opportunity of love here, that maybe you're finally realizing you need to speak out. Look, maybe there's too many obstacles here for us to be together. Or I have obstacles that I need to cut out of my life, but I'm trying to do it as quickly as I can. You're really enamored with or really in love with somebody here, in so much that you're willing to just jump in, not even test the waters, not even know what's below. You're just ready to jump right in. I feel like there's an incredible attraction here. I feel like you are at the crossroads here. We've got the Ace of Wands in the bottom right-hand corner of this card, and we also have the Knight of Wands, which is two wands, right? I feel like this is a destined connection, though, is what I want to say. This is a destined partnership. We've got 21 up here. 2 and 1 is 3. You might be seeing the number 2125. I don't know if that means anything to you. It's a 4-digit number, right? 2125. And then we have the magnifying glass. So looking over it all, fine-tooth comb, right? We've got the well. And the well is, you know, things that you're wishing for, things that are deep, deep, deep down in your soul. The magnifying glass, I feel, is indicating that you're looking over yourself, because 44, right? We could be dealing in 4s. You could be seeing multiple 4s, but I feel that 4 and 4 is 8, and that's about the self. I feel like you're scrutinizing the self, because I think you feel a little bit of guilt or shame or heaviness that comes with the 5 of Wands. You're blaming yourself. You're beating yourself up about it, and now that's why you have hesitation. That's why you're holding yourself back, because it feels like you're blaming yourself, that you've been carrying around the 10 of Wands and wanting to drop that, but you feel as though you're not enough, possibly, or you're just checking in with yourself. Like, is this really what I want? Is this who I am? Is this really what I want? Because you've got an opportunity staring you in the face and you're wondering if you should take it, right? Yeah. It could just be the choice to stay single and abundant. But I don't think that you can keep your mind away from thinking about what's going on in the Judgment. Oh, I love this card. It's got an owl here. Somebody's pointing at the owl. Yeah, it's about transformation and change, and it may change. It may change really the 9 Pentacles could indicate that this is really abundant, that it's a yes, you should do it. But I feel like mostly it's indicating here that you're kind of toggling in the mind. Do I want to be single? If I go back round again and take the second chance with this person, are they going to think some type of way? Are they going to think that maybe I'm trying to date them when really I don't want to? No, I think you're in love though, like real love. That's what it feels like. This person is someone you've been holding back from because you don't want to look foolish when you go racing in on this person to tell them how you feel about them. Scorpio, it's the Scorpio thing in you, right? You're not showing your feelings on the surface because you're scared they'll be misinterpreted or that it won't be reciprocated. I feel it'll be reciprocated, but I do feel there is an unburdening here, the unburdening of the self. Like it feels like you're really going over yourself, like scrutinizing the self. Is this what I really want? Is this who I am? Does this person fit me? You're remaining silent. There's not a whole lot of communication going on here. And we don't have any cups. That's very interesting. We don't have any cups. Yeah. Interesting. So we have the Page of Pentacles, and we have again the Ten of Wands. So you're wondering why you're spending so much time carrying around these burdens when I think you understand that the new beginning is here. I think that you can materialize whatever you want, and part of what you want, I believe, is to race in on someone and ask them for the new beginning. It's like when the pendulum swings, right? It starts here and it goes right to the other end. And it's like, I feel like that's what this energy is here. The Knight of Swords is like, I gotta go. I gotta say it. Now that I've got control of the throat chakra and I feel like I can speak up, I have to say something. It almost feels like a race against time. You know those movies, right, where she's in the airport and he's like, oh my God, I can't let her go. And it feels like that. It feels like the last, like the final hour or the 11th hour. Like somebody here better make a decision, or you could just lose your ability to have that decision at all. It'll be taken from you. You're not sure if it's going to be a burden to propose marriage or to get engaged or to give a promise ring. But you know that there's the Page of Pentacles here. You know that there are obstacles here, but that you're willing to work on the obstacles and materialize whatever you need, the beginnings of cycles over and over again. So there's a decision while you are in hermit mode that there possibly is someone you owe an apology to. Someone that you know that you could be very happy with, but there you are up in your head not being able to make the decision about what you want to do next. It feels like the universe is trying to nudge you in the right direction, but you are holding back out of fear. This thing that's going to be happening in April, I think we should go into the extended and talk about it. It's not going to resonate for everyone. This feels very specific. So if it's you, if even one person watches, then at least I can give you more information. But we have changes in your life. I mean, we can't just leave that unsupervised here. We got to clarify that and find out what that means, because love begins because you speak up. But here's where we end right now with the Eight of Swords, right? Not really feeling like you have control of the situation. Your hands are tied. You're in your mind. I think the things you're thinking about are, I need to apologize if I want my happiness. The Nine of Cups is here. The wish fulfillment is here, and you can decide it if you want to, Scorpio. If you make the decision and you decide to take action rather than sitting back and waiting, I feel like this could all be yours. It looks beautiful, right? Love begins. Yeah, there's some obstacles and stuff, but I feel like most of the obstacles are ones that are in your mind. Yeah, the Eight of Swords. Okay, let's go into the extended. We will talk about all of this. We haven't even touched this. Why is love beginning? What went on with the throat chakra? Somebody's moving on. We have the Fool in reverse. Somebody doesn't want to be made a fool of. Somebody's holding back, right? Let's talk about all of that. And if you wanted to see me do that, then go to the extension. The extended link is the first link in the description. If you're interested in a private read based on what you see here or any other questions that you have, please click on the link to Wizio and you can book me there. I'm going to go for now. Thanks, Scorpio. Love you guys. Bye-bye.